Good afternoon here on Rongo University Media 87.9, Rongo University and its environ. This afternoon we are going to discuss on matters related to meal, and as you all well know, from 24th to 31st we are going to celebrate the Global Media Information Literacy Week, and this annual event brings together stakeholders from around the globe to exchange ideas and explore innovative approaches to advancing media and information literacy for everyone. And on our discussion here, we're going to discuss the role of young media professionals in shaping the future of media literacy. As you all well know, that media literacy is something that we cannot run away from. It's something that is with us in the society. And I'm very much grateful. Today, I've got some of the few guests here who has been running different media platforms. And being that this week is much into them, I think, and I'm sure they have something good to discuss. We have Colin Somondi on desk, we have Lisa Ajambo, we have Vero Melody, and we also have Rogers Otiso, who are the young professional in media and communication, and they are running different media platform online. And just to go direct on to our conversation here, what do we understand by the word media information literacy, Mr. Collins?
Thank you, Albert, for the question. I want to say that media information literacy is the ability of individual to understand how information is being sourced, filtered, verified, and disseminated appropriately without disinformation, misinformation, or malinformation to the target audience.
Yeah, and can you have something to add about the media information literacy, Madam Lisa?
Yeah, actually, media information literacy is just the ability to be able to really analyze and filter what is happening online to make the online or social media platforms more safe and available for each and every user.
And are there any challenges on media literacy, Mr. Rogers?
Yes, there's a lot of challenges in media literacy because in this world is that we are in a digital era, you understand that. So is that there's a lot of dissemination of information that is all around, because you should find, sometimes you can find that information is shared online, but it has no facts around it. For example, there's something that happened, like for example, yesterday, Deputy Rigathi Gachagua was impeached by the Senate. So there's a lot of information that was shared online that is dead, but in the recent that man is okay and kicking. So there's a lot of challenges that is in the media, in the media space, and as media practitioners, as media people who own various media platforms, we should be at least in that angle and understand that these changes are existing, and also ensure that we have some facts before we share our information, because we should not like bloggers who just have information and just share it online. So we should follow those media ethics, and share it. So
and I know I think you didn't share the information that you've just talked about.
I cannot share it
because you said it was it was a fake news.
It was a fake news, exactly.
The death of the DP. Yeah, and you've just talked about the challenge that you are facing, you as a media personality, while running your media station. And Vero Melody, do you think there is any challenge of media information literacy when we look at the angle of the audience, your own audience?
Yeah,
just come close to your mic.
There's a lot of misinformation, but as the person owning the media platform, you should be able to differentiate the real one from the fake one by looking at different sources before you can post it for your content, for your public to consume what you post.
Yeah, so that's a challenge. Lisa, seems like you want to add something.
Yeah, just to add on that, from a content creator perspective, online or social media, there is a lot of misinformation, and really engaging the audience in a specific way and helping them understand the message that you really want to convey, because people are sharing information and it is easy to share information from one person to another, but making the message resonate with the people is is the main challenge that us as young content creators are we facing right now. You might send a message
Yeah,
and
sure.
someone makes a meme out of it, like kufa dereva, kufa
Kufa
makanga,
makanga.
and that does not really resonate with the audience.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I can add something on the challenges in the media landscape is that for if you want to produce news that is great or even a content, sometimes as a media practitioner or someone who has a media site, is that you may lack funding and resources.
Yeah,
For
sure.
example, a good camera for me, I use my phone. I have a phone that I use for, but it has raw quality in video shooting. So for example, when you are shooting, you may get some shots that are not clear, and thus communicating another thing which was not even targeted.
Yeah.
So we lack funding, resources, something
sure.
like that.
Then there is one of the picture. I don't know if you are following the issue of the ex-DP, that's Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. Yeah. During his interview, the last interview, he talked about the picture that was cropped, the cropped picture, whereby he was seen in one of the house during the visit of one of the key people in the country. I think he was
the king.
Yeah, he was a king, sure. There was one of the picture that was circulating showing how he was secluded out of the meeting. But later on, it came to our attention that the picture was cropped. It was not the real picture. And for us to discover that the picture is real or not, we need to have some of the resources that can help us to identify the pictures. You, Mr. Collins, while you're running your own media platform, do you think there is enough resources that can help you to identify such kind of fake news on your side?
I want to say that in the universe or in the world that we exist, resources are always limited, and I cannot assure myself that I am vast with resources. So the only thing that resonates around the media information literacy is the fact that we as media practitioners or upcoming journalists, we need to have the verification skills. Like when you see an information, a picture posted, you need to verify the source of that information. And to add on what my fellow colleagues have said, what we face with this, the main challenge in this view of media information literacy is the dynamics of our audience. We need to understand the dynamics of our audience. We have various audience. We have learned audience, we have illiterate. So we need to go to the ground and to understand who are our audience and who are we disseminating the information.
Sure.
And to what context of semantics are we using to disseminate the information, because language is also a disturbance when it comes to information and information dissemination. And in regards to meal, most of us get misinformed because of the semantics we use in communicating. Yeah,
sure. How about you, Lisa?
And to add on what Mr. Collins has said, when we're talking about resources that are available for us, content creators or just journalists, there is advancement of AI right now. And with that picture being cropped or in that scenario or an event, it's easy to know whether the DP was there or not through AI and the advances that are being made in technology.
Yeah. Then how do you always ensure that you check your pictures, the news before you post? How do you always work on that, Melody?
About that, you have to fact check. You have to use different sources to check if the information you received is right or wrong. You have to use different platforms, compare your knowledge with other people's knowledge. But again, the challenge we have is that the community journalists,
Yeah, the user-generated content.
No,
the citizen
journalism.
Yeah,
sure.
the citizen journalists, that is, they tend to spread news without even verifying it. So most of the time they spread rumors, then later come to realize that the information they shared was wrong.
Sure.
But that already comes when the rumor has already been spread so it's hard for the public to differentiate between now the truth and the real source and the fake source.
Yeah.
So I think the public should also be educated on how to verify news without fast spreading it.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
And you've just talked about some of the sources. Where do you always get your source? Where, especially on social media, how can I know that this page is real and the other one is not real? Because, for example, if you go to some of the news outlets like BBC, you'll find a lot of BBC news pages. But how can I know, me as a common mwananchi, how can I know that this one is the real page and this is where I'm supposed to get my news, Mr. Rogers?
Okay, for me is that I just look for the verified pages.
Yeah.
And you must check on the followers, by the way. For example, if you
but if even a fake page can have a very large number.
But
yeah, it's true.
Okay.
Some
Sure.
fake pages have many followers compared to the real one.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one way. I said you should look at the page which is verified, and also you can. There's a platform. Because you have touched on the picture that circulated yesterday.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a fact checking sites that we have in Kenya and even the global called Politiki. That's a site that is existing in Kenya and even the global. Right. So you can use that as one way of creating and knowing that it's existing. And we can also check on the fact checking organizations.
Yeah.
It's also a good praise that at least you can verify this page is existing or not existing.
Yeah,
we have also Snopes is one of the websites that can help you to know that this something is existing or not.
Yeah. And being that you are running different media channels, what do you always have some of the programs, or how do you always engage your audience when it comes to media information literacy? What do you always do in your platforms?
When it comes to media information literacy, for example, on my platforms through TikTok or YouTube, I sometimes have storytelling sessions, and sometimes you just write motivation. Sometimes you just engage with polls. You can create a question such that you can be able to engage with the audience, and they send their replies and be like, how do they really interact with the misinformation? So through polls, through storytelling, and inspiration. That's how I do it as a content creator through my pages.
How about you, Mr. Collins?
I want to say that on my pages, more so on X, I do repost and post information that I feel like it was altered, or it was not to the specificity of what was intended to say. Like I can tag the person who commented or who posted an information maybe on X. I can tag him or her on what I post to correct, because mostly people get misinformed mostly on X. Yeah.
So your work is just to correct them.
Yeah, after realizing that the information which that person has disseminated is wrong, I can repost that thing by reposting something which is valid, something verified from the legitimate source, that this was what happened and this is the reality from what he or she posted. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Melody? How do you help your audience when it comes to media information literacy? Do you always teach them, or how do you handle that?
Okay, interacting with the audience, I think, is the best thing. You seek their views, you see what's their perspective about that issue, then bring up your perspective. Yeah, then you compare. Yeah, you let them realize, and you make them realize the right thing from the wrong thing, or if their perspective is wrong or right. Yeah. So if you interact with them, they'll be able to understand that this thing is not done this way because professionally.
Okay, I've seen a very good initiative that you people are trying to make in order to ensure that you teach your audience and you also inform your audience on matters related to media information literacy, because it's something that is affecting both our audience and at the same time it's affecting you personally who is running your personal media. And Mr. Collins, just as we almost come to an end, because I can see it's 12:04, just a few minutes before we finish, how do you see the future of media information literacy?
Thank you, Albert, for the question. I want to say that I see the future of media information literacy luminous, because in my 4-year course in the university, I've been learning, and I think almost 3 out of around 48 units I'm doing, 3 of them are dealing with the studies of media information literacy and media law, which I think are the basic fundamentals of understanding of the background of MIL. And the introduction of these courses to students pursuing communication and media studies is a great advancement to the future of MIL, because I believe that through education we get change, and
Sure.
This is the background of, or the beginning of, change in the aspect of information literacy to our practitioners and the upcoming journalists, because I believe that if these journalists are taught about media information literacy, media law, they get to understand the basis and they get to share this thing, and they practice the art of information literacy, which will in turn be practiced by those who they disseminate information to.
Sure.
And also I want to say that the future is also bright when we look at the government side. The government is also trying to come up with the institutions that verify information, websites that can be used by individual to verify news. For example, we have the Kenya News Agency that deals with the same. We have the Media Council of Kenya that works with the same with the media practitioners. And I think by these institutions being involved in by government in teaching about information literacy, the future of journalism, or the future of information literacy,
Sure.
will be good.
Okay. And do you think, do you always collaborate with other media station whenever you are sourcing your news, Madam Lisa?
Yeah, we do, like as a content creator,
Yeah.
or as any person who is using
And
before content creation.
yeah,
You
and
are a journalist. Yeah,
and
you're
how
a
does
trained journalist.
that one help you in ensuring that the information that you're posting is right?
Actually, facts. Hey.
No problem. We understand.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
We understand you. How does it help you in
it's-
information sourcing and also ensuring that you've posted the correct news on your
That
platforms?
helps me build trust with my audience,
Yeah.
because they'll always know that when you go to my profile or you go to my social media pages, they'll get fact-checked or real or truthful information. So that helps me build trust with them.
Yeah. And you, how is it helping you? Or you always don't collaborate with other people?
Okay, for me is that I own Roji Media. I own Roji Media. That's my media house.
Yeah, sure.
It's an online media house. So I always collaborate with Apex Media. I collaborate with Expro News. So Kina Speed of Kenya. So something like that. So it has been a great journey for me. I started it when I was in the first year, and we have been collaborating because sometimes for example, yesterday I saw a post that was posted by Apex Media. And for me is that at that time I was not on. I was not accessing my internet, but I just
so through Apex Media,
I got that information
and
I posted it because I verified it by there before posting, because you understand in this world is that we have a lot of people, we have a lot of bloggers who are just posting everything just it's online. Because yesterday, as we said some minutes ago, is that there's someone who posted that DB Gachagua is dead, but that's
and in fact it really spread.
Yeah, it spread. But the idea is that the impeached president, deputy president, is alive and kicking. So we always collaborate with a lot of media houses, even the mainstream media itself. We always collaborate. We get to know, because we may there's some places we cannot get news from. So it is good at least to collaborate and just know how they write their news by their way. How do they approach their angle of stories? Because we can go with you in one site where we want to source news, but at that place, I should get my news in the correct way, and also you get in your way. You see that?
Can I add something on what
yes, you can.
So, and I want to say that we do collaborate with other media practitioners or mainstream media. We are still upcoming journalists. We are not yet accredited by the Media Council of Kenya to be journalists. So the reason as to why we collaborate with this journalist or with the practicing journalists or other media platforms is that there are places we cannot get access to. And some of these places are they are the main sources, the credible sources of information needed to be disseminated. So through collaboration with these media houses or with these practicing journalists, we get information that we cannot get because of our incredibility with the work of journalism. So that is the main reason as to why we collaborate and get information which is credible from sources we cannot reach to. And I hope they're the right sources. Yeah. And I can see how the time is not on our side. And just to wrap up this conversation about the media information literacy, I just want to hear from you people, like in this world where there is faster spread of fake news, and also there is misinformation, disinformation, and even malinformation, what advice do you have to the other journalists who are upcoming, and also what advice can you give your audience when it comes to issue of media information literacy? We'll start with you, Rogers, as we wrap up.
Okay, for me is that we are still growing in the media. Yes, I'm a journalist, I'm also a student. So we are still growing in the media. We may have facts and we may lack facts. That's the reality. So what I can say is that before you post something, just verify it.
Sure.
Is Citizen, has it posted? Radio Maisha, something like that. So those mainstream medias. So just verify your news before posting it, even 3 times. So you use those media sites, we call it fact-checking sites like Fact Fast. There's some we call sports. There's what we call political feed. Something like that. So use those media verification sites and understand to know that
check
if they are posted there.
Sure.
So
how about you? Because of time, okay. Running out of our time.
No problem.
Melody?
Okay, I like to differ with Rogers.
Yes. No problem.
Yeah, there's a time that I can't say that all media, like those big media houses, have credible news, because there's a time Lulu Hassan was arrested for airing something that wasn't supposed to be aired.
Yes.
Okay.
You remember that time? So it's not a matter of the kind of media house.
How big it is.
Yeah, it's not how, like, the bigness or the smallness of the media house.
Sure.
Yeah, you just have to compare your news and to the aspiring journalists, the students who want to pursue media. I can just advise them to, if you want to give out the real news, don't take your news from you call them the citizen journalists, Yeah, verify your news from different media houses, different media platforms, before you can post it, because you can post it, you can copy it from my site I delete it, then you be the one who will be arrested.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Lisa.
I get your point.
Okay,
Thank you for that.
She has just explained the issue of
exactly.
Bigger media station and smaller.
Yeah. Get your point. Thank you.
It's good always to check your information very well from a credible source.
Yeah.
Sure.
It might be small but very credible.
Okay.
Okay, sure. We're living in a society where technology is really advancing, and right now it's all about the money. One click, money away. So there's so much overload of information, especially, let's say, we have templates, we have things that people will just create to clickbait you. So as my advice to young content creators or journalists or anyone who is using social media and becoming literate is just verification.
Sure. Collins, as you wrap up.
Thank you. I want to say that as all of us fight to give information the first hand, the main important reason is to always verify and fact check what you want to post. And also we need to understand our audience. We need to understand the dynamics of our audience. We need to understand the language and the semantics we use in disseminating information, because those are the things that revolves around information, about what we call misinformation, malinformation, and disinformation. Understanding the context to which our audience are will give us the basis to disseminate that information. And we know that language changes with the surrounding. The urban language is different with the rural language. And sometimes we can speak something to the context of addressing the people in the urban, but the same thing is sounding like a malinformation to someone living in a rural setting.
Yeah.
So as upcoming journalists, we need to understand the dynamics of our audience. We need to understand the context to which we are communicating. And the last thing I want to say that we need to fact check and verify what we communicate.
Yeah, you don't just communicate. And to our listeners and our viewers outside there, you've just heard what our young professionals have just said about news information, news sourcing. Before you post or before you repost anything, fact check, verify. You don't just post anything because you've got it from anywhere else. The time is not on our side here, and we are going to be forced to end this conversation. But the next episode here, we will be talking about different issue concerning media information literacy, because I told you that on 24th up to 31st October, we are having Global Media Information Literacy Week. Until next time, my name is Albert Oma.